Yeah. Awesome. So
Yeah,
we all have watched season one. So before we get into the clips that we've
yeah.
brought, we'll start with you, Kendall. What is your initial kind of thought been on the first episode that we're discussing today?
I think it started off how it should. It was slow. Nothing's really happening at 7 a.m. They're just
Right,
getting there.
right.
The night shift is kind of in and out. Again, people have not woken up yet. The patients aren't
Mhm.
the holidays hasn't gotten started yet. So it's going to pick up. But again, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., it's typical.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
me, I
yeah.
think I was like super vigilant watching it because I feel like they're placing all the seeds that are going to
Yeah,
develop over
yeah.
the course of the
Mm.
next 15 episodes. So you see like the random patient they talk to, and you're like, oh, is that going to be the patient that's something like
Right,
happens or
right.
whatnot? Or one interaction, you're like, oh, is this going to like blow up into something? And then what about you, Natalie? What were your thoughts on the first episode?
Yeah, yeah. Very much feel. Oh, sorry. It very much feels like that Charlie Day meme of like you're connecting everything with like the yarn, because I do think in season one, then you go back and look at it and you're like, oh, okay, how did I miss this? Um, yeah, I love it so far. I'm okay with it starting slow because I know that what they're capable of, and yeah, I like. Oh,
Awesome. Well, I have the
oh,
first clip pulled up.
Something
all
This is
right.
This is Natalie's clip, so let's play it, and it is the opening scene, and let's react to it. Okay, so before I let you go, initially,
Yeah, yeah.
it's the opening scene, cool, and I didn't think much of it until I saw all the online chatter, and of course, you're gonna mention why you chose
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's probably the most talked about scene, so go ahead and tell us why you chose this scene.
Yeah, so first watching it, I am excited because there's a title card, the same opening scene we'd had before. We see the ambulance come across, and you realize that it's Dr. Robby riding the motorcycle, which at first gave me pause because, or at least the emergency room doctors that I know are extremely like risk adverse. So, and that I might be overgeneralizing. Doctors can ride motorcycles, I'm sure that's fine, but at least in my experience. And then the camera flips and we see Robby cross a double yellow line to pass the ambulance, and that's when I was like, like his hair is blowing in the wind. He gives the ambulance driver like a wave, and then he rides off into the hospital. What was the first thing that you guys noticed about that scene, or what gave you pause?
I mean, obviously the fact that he's not wearing a helmet. Like, what
Yeah.
ER doc would, like I know some
What?
ER docs that ride, but like they all wear helmets. They're all very safe.
Yeah.
Right, right,
So I think we see a lot of injuries, so we kind of know what to look for. And so when I saw him wearing a helmet,
right.
I noticed it. I didn't think much of it, but when he got off, I saw his helmet on his back, and I'm like, "You have a helmet?"
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what I thought was weird. I was like, "Why do you have a helmet with you if you're not wearing it?" That's the only thing. But
yeah. Because like you see, like if you look closely, you can see it on the back of the motorcycle, but then
Right.
it's on the back of his backpack as he's walking in. You're like, okay,
yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. There was that again to reference a tweet, really funny tweet about how like we see what you're doing, like you're being stupid, you're not being sly. Like he really thinks he's getting away with something. I think a lot of people noticed it too. Like I went back and tried to count all the comments. I stopped at like 173. But I feel like most people were upset because they felt it wasn't accurate. Um, for the reason but I think it's a small detail that does an enormous amount of work in establishing where Rob is mentally at the beginning of the season. If that's all right, I'm going to rewind a little bit to season one, episode 15, when Abbott finds Robbie on the roof.
yeah.
In that wide shot, you'll notice two things. Do you guys remember? Or so they're like on the roof. Robbie's stethoscope is hanging on the railing, and he's standing closer to the edge than Abbott ever was that morning. That choice was not accidental, it was very intentional. Noah Wiley has talked about it. He did an interview with Ryan Schwartz of TV Line where he says, like, Abbott looking into that abyss of like the concrete down there, he's thinking about coming home, and that's better than the abyss. It's grounding for him. But when Robby looks into the abyss, especially after like the pit fest and everything, he's taking something very different from that. He's thinking that down there looks better than work or my home. So Noah has never said like outright that Robby was going to commit suicide, but he has alluded to it a lot and given enough context that I think he comes much closer than people realize. Um, so then, knowing how intentional the rooftop scene was, it made a lot of sense to me when Noah Wiley said in a recent interview that excluding the helmet in the motorcycle scene was a very deliberate choice. What do you guys think that says about where Robby is at in his mental health journey? That he's making the choice not only not to wear a helmet, but that he's carrying it with them and still not wearing it.
I think so. He needs a break. I mean, there's a high burnout rate in our specialty, and I'm glad he's going on a sabbatical. I think he needs a break. I mean,
Mhm.
I feel the same time well, where I just need a break, and I take like a few days off, a week off, and I miss it. But when you're going like 4 or 5 shifts in a row, you kind of get tired. But that little bit of recharge, you realize it's like why you like being a doctor, and I think it's going to be really good for him to get that sabbatical. And hopefully, he makes it to that sabbatical.
Right. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah. He's got to make it.
Yeah, no, I
Um.
100% agree. I think he's in an almost reckless state where he's not
Yeah.
actively trying to hurt himself, like right at this
Right.
moment, but he's also in a state of like, if something happens, it happens. And like you said, making that move with a motorcycle, crossing the double yellow
Yeah.
lines,
Yeah.
helmet, and then even like the tone of his throughout the first episode is very like what like, you think back to the first episode of the first season and he is like proud of like this is his home,
Oh
this
yeah.
is his
Yeah. Yeah.
team, and like the first interactions you see is like, oh, who's this new attending, tell me about her, like it's coming from a place of like frustration, maybe negativity, and I think he's just in a place of like, I'm just trying to get through this day, I don't care if something bad happens to me or whatnot, I'm just like ready for this break, and he's close to a breaking point in my opinion.